Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the New Gods podcast. Today we have a very special returning guest, Louis Morel, the voice actor of Needles. And you did a couple other voices in there, didn't you?
I did the shit creature in the sewers. I did the Needles is the daughter, wife of Doctor Who's all crazy and doing all the horrible experiments.
Ah,
I
Stitches,
did
yeah.
them. And I had I designed one of the new gods you see in the intro with a weird geometric shape head because I enjoy a good weird geometric shape.
Wait, you did. Which creature did you do in the sewers?
Oh, it sounds like its cry sounds like it's shitting, and somebody posted a meme of the "Hey Babe" and then fart sounds played, and my girlfriend saw it and loved it. It was like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah, the neighbors. Yeah.
yeah,
With
yeah,
like
yeah,
the anteater head and like the
I
tongue
didn't
poking out.
know that.
with a weird like mush head. Yeah,
Yeah, those guys. They're getting a
I
redesign
didn't
in the
know
update,
that.
actually.
That's amazing. What do you say about a spoiler?
It's not a spoiler. It's they're getting a redesign.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. I'm looking.
Look, Raccoon. We're the Fear and Hunger podcast, okay? And there's a massive update coming out, and there's details coming out. It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up.
How about you come alone?
Anyway, and this is just a visual thing. Anyway, it's not like gameplay. They're getting a visual redesign. So
Sure.
same thing with Samaline's boss fight battle is getting a cool pose. Basically, same body, different pose.
wait, was that actually getting added into the fight? Because I thought there was just when he posted that. I'm pretty sure Mira said that was an old version of the sprite.
I don't know. I was told he was doing a new one, but
Okay,
who knows?
interesting. That would be really funny if there's like a 5% chance of Samari's pose changing to that new fabulous pose that she's got.
I was under that impression, but I could be incorrect.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's not a spoiler, and you're incorrect.
Yeah. No more spoilers, guys. We're gonna spoil the shit out of Raccoon. Sorry, it's your own fault at this point. I'm sorry, Raccoon. Well, I guess it's half your fault because Miro keeps delaying the update. I think every time
Yeah,
somebody
that's
makes a
true.
joke
Yeah.
about Miro delaying the
If
update
we're-
or
if
complains
we're
about it,
avoiding
he delays
spoilers,
it for another
we really
week.
shouldn't
So.
bring up. If we're not talking about spoilers, we really shouldn't bring up the Fall Guys crossover because
Yeah.
that will be.
No. Shut up.
That's gonna be a good one.
The guard is a new playable skin in Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Anatomically accurate. Yeah.
And Miro's adding Twitch drops into Fear and Hunger, so when you watch
Oh,
the
of
crossover
course.
stream, yeah, it's gonna be great.
You'll get a little notification. It'll be great.
I don't
So
even know if
cheap.
it's real.
Yeah. I can't wait for Drake's cameo. It's gonna be good.
Well, speaking of
He's a new god.
cameo, what
Drake the new god.
comments do we have to respond?
Well, actually, we're going to discuss something that you like as well, Raccoon. Louis had a great theory he wanted to talk about first.
You have no idea what the theory is. It could be god awful. Okay. Shooting my shot. You're familiar with how the first few games have a symbol, a god that represents what this game will be about. Both of them are symbols of old gods. If the pattern continues, there are two old god symbols remaining. That of my dear beloved forgotten bug boy, where you could get the overpowered spamming insect moves from. Damn it! What was it? The god of the abyss?
God of the
I
Depths.
think. Depths. Thank you. And the other one is the not the one which isn't too PG. And I was curious what is the potential for the next game to be themed around. I think it could be a little bit before we get a new Fear and Hunger game, because Orange seems a little burned out on the project. Or if he did do it recently, it would probably be tonally very different. And it's like, I don't know. It's interesting because initially the sequel to Fear and Hunger had less, let's say, explicit elements because it was more war because of being well, at least back in the Discord when he was working on the early project, he mentioned that he was going to tone it down because of like Steam algorithm-y stuff. that it might get, more sidelines, more explicit content. But then he dialed like explicit and violent content.
Wow,
back
Mirror
down
sold out.
because he wasn't in the
Wow.
mood. He didn't
Can't believe
quite.
that. Can't
I
believe
won't
that.
sell out, but
Fear and Hunger's gone corporate, boys. It's gone corporate. It's over.
Well, the original game was partially so depressing because he was feeling, a bit emotionally rough when working on the game. But the sequel to the game is not as fucking grimdark as all hell, despite being quite grimdark, because he's being better during it. So if you want a true emotionally grimdark successor, Orange is gonna have to start having an existential crisis. So that's probably not gonna happen. I don't know.
So
I don't know. It's like.
So yeah, we can organize that. We can get a New Gods gang stalking group together, and we'll we'll systematically ruin Miro's life to make Fear and Hunger 3 better.
Alan Poe in his ear while he sleeps. We just need that grim gothic vibe back.
Yeah, yeah.
Suddenly he walks outside and every house around him just has like gothic buttresses that have been erected overnight. Everyone is now talking like a fucking Kafka character.
Keep releasing breeding pairs of crows around his house. Yeah, it's great. That's a great idea.
He wakes up one day and all his wallpaper is just black now. He owns like a massive armchair next to like a burning fire and like a smoking pipe, and he never possessed these before.
Yeah, no, that'd be perfect.
I don't know. It's like I think it might be a while before we see a Fear and Hunger sequel. He has tossed like a bunch of other ideas down the years, but as someone who's interacted with a few game developers in their time, game developers will shoot out a lot of different ideas, and some don't. Some go some places, some don't. Like I've talked to the Lisa developer a bit in the past, and oh my god, an idea he had, which I brought up to him, which he completely fucking forgot about. And he was like, no, never mind. I won't bring up that idea. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Miro has said that he's going to, no matter what idea he ends up taking, and his current idea for Fear and Hunger 3, he said a lot of people won't like.
Yeah.
And no matter what he picks, it's going to be a few years before we see anything about it, like any demo or anything like that. So
my general theory was that's what he flipping said about Termina. When Termina started out, he said a lot of people won't like it, and here we fucking are now. But I think the thing that he was main concerned about with the Termina thing was the time period shift. That, going from like medieval fantasy to like after World War II, like more like Call of Cthulhu vibes.
Yeah, well, honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this change, going from a cool grimdark dungeon to World War II. And then as I'm playing it, I'm like, okay, no, I kind of like the new change. I like it. I think it was a bold idea, and I think it worked. I don't like it quite as much as the dungeon, but it is still pretty cool.
My main problem is just the whole thing is paced way too widely. That game could be concentrated so hard. There are so many buildings which are really redundant and so much walking time. The great thing about the dungeon is it was snappy. Like, you could, if you knew what you were doing, you could like fucking speed. It's like, I love Fear and Hunger 1 because it's a game that will take 8 hours to finish on your first run, but once you figured it out, you can do it in less than 40 minutes. And I love that.
Yeah. Well, when you get really, really good, you can beat it in 30 seconds. Reliably.
I'll take your word for it. I am not an elite pro gamer yet.
I used to have a redeem on my Twitch stream where you could spend some ridiculous number of points, and I would just do a quick ending E run, which would take about like 2 minutes tops.
I don't know. I really love that about the original game is that it's my big problem with Termina is the original game is compressed. It's a game which you can quickly replay, you can try different strategies, you can try different routes. If your run is over, it's not much of a biggie because it's so easy to experiment or try a different route. Whether in Termina, you kind of have to go everywhere, which it isn't like, it doesn't feel as, and it takes a long time to get anywhere. It doesn't feel as like you can have a lot of different playthroughs. It's like I finished my first Termina run, and I'm like, I'm so exhausted. I am not touching this for a while. And I finished my first Grand Hunger Gun. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to see all the alternate side features. It's just Termina is just. I love the game. I do. I think the art's way better than the first game. I think the writing's way better than the first game. I think the story is a lot better than the first game, especially when it comes to characters. But oh my god, it is stretched too thin. I need that compactness.
I think that was intentional because it feels like it's bringing the horror out into the open air, out into the sunlight and out into the moonlight.
It's the pathologic game design of like that sort of like pathologic big city. Some people find it as a really profound experience from getting point A to point B because it's so immersive having this style of world. And then there is me wanting to pull every teeth out of my head and just protest.
And it doesn't help
the
that
deliberate decision to try and stretch out the content as thin as possible. Even if it was deliberate, I can't agree with it as like an idea.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
Like, it doesn't help that in a playthrough, no matter what ending you're doing, you have to visit every single location in the city. Whereas in the dungeon, you can skip half of the maps. Like, you can easily just not see half of the game, depending on what ending you're doing.
Part of the fun of the first game is the, like, oh my god, when you discover, like, the green hue area for the first time, that's so cool. It's like there are so many little alternate like nooks and crannies, like the alternate city guardian, the big clay boy who's all depressed because the king went away and he's been running around for thousands of years, and now you have to fight him. Like, it's like I love the tiny little alternate locations, but part of I think that's the first Fear and Hunger had a lot of those little alternate side things like that because its development was very ongoing. It was very early access vibes where he would release like a very simple demo version and then slowly build and iterate upon that. And I think that's probably why there are so many like quick little like side diversions like within the first game because of its like more early access, set up for the game's development. Whether Termina was like there were demo versions, but it wasn't on the same scale of constant development as the first game.
Yeah. Yeah, like, one of the, like, Fear and Hunger 1 has a completely different feeling than 2, and, like, I still think that there's things in the first game that I don't know about. Even though I've gotten every single ending in the game, I know I've played it for, like, 200 hours. Like, I know this game, but it still feels like, just because of the way it's designed, it still feels like there's one little corner somewhere that I've missed. Whereas in Termina, I don't get that feeling. Because in every ending, you go everywhere.
Like, and I think that just bloats the game too much. Like, I don't know. It's just... I love that fucking jellyfish. That jellyfish that comes out of nowhere with the lady face.
Yeah.
And you're so confused. And they say so much cryptic shit. And they're vaguely associated with the moon god, but you don't know in what aspect. And it gives some backstory that you confirm maybe in Pocket Cat's lore. He's wanting the children for some like occult, like moon god related reason where you just thought he was like a fucking creep. And that's why he wanted the children before. But I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like, Termina is such a mixed bag for me because there are so many elements about it which I just think are objective upgrades. I just blankly, but then there are quite a few which I feel like are like, no, this is part of the gameplay loop I really like, and I feel like it's broken. I don't know. I feel it's like it's a game which I do want to love with all my heart, but I just can't quite get there because I can't deal with its progression, and that's basically it.
It is a very solid game, and there's like all the quality of life features are really nice, but it is missing that like X factor the first game had, right?
Yeah, it's tricky. I think it has a different X factor. That X factor being the writing. I do genuinely think the writing, the character, Termina's intro is a million times better than the intro to the first game. Like Termina's intro fucking gets you, and it's incredible. It's like I don't know. It's a weird situation because if I was being totally analytical reviewer saying which one is better than the other, I don't think I could answer it, because it's like, it's like they both hit well, but oddly the appeal is very different.
Yeah.
Like the relatively linear story moments within Termina are fantastic. Like, the writing is so strong in that way. The writing in the first Fear and Hunger, it was fit for purpose, but it wasn't the highlight. The highlight of it was the non-linearity and the mystery.
I actually gotta disagree with you about the intro sequence. Okay. Because Fear and Hunger 1 does have a very, very memorable intro sequence. It's just that you're not railroaded into it. It arises organically as a result of player decisions, and it is an almost universally shared experience that Fear and Hunger has one of two intros. Either getting mauled to death by the dogs, or getting the special game over scene from a prison guard.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the prison guard scene. The prison guard scene is a real flip of a coin. Part of it is done very well. The fading in and out of consciousness is like terrifying. And I feel like it's tricky because it's bordering on being a really horrific, horror sequence. But also, you've just stepped into a game. This is the first thing you encounter. It's like, a part of me feels like I nearly dropped the game because I just thought it was going to be some edgelord, 4chan shock thing. It's like, Fear and Hunger is a game I fucking adore. I voice acted in the sequel, but I nearly dropped it because of that sequence, just because
I dropped Fear and Hunger 1 for 2 years because of how it had that. And I gotta say, I waited the second one because of the intro that it had and how it slowly respects you. I know some people don't like how easy it is and how it respects you, but I think the building up shock that it has from seeing the woodsman just suddenly kill someone and then give you 3,000 hours just to run away from him because he just stands there doing nothing. From that one guy that shoots you, that only deals 10 damage from each shot instead of 50 or something like that. And just being able to not, remove your arms, just your legs, which is not that bad for the gameplay wise. Stuff like that, right?
No, I think the introduction to the first game sets the tone perfectly. This place is not welcoming to you. It is a hostile place, and you will die in various horrible ways. And if you can't handle that, then the game isn't for you, and I think that's perfectly fine.
I'm a sucker for the artwork in the Termina intro. It's like, what's that effing artist's name? He's one of the most famous surrealist artists. There are tons of references to his work throughout the. I have a book of a shelf which is just weird fucking artists I have here. Where is Beksinski? That's it. There's a bunch of references to Beksinski's artwork and some of the designs in the intro, and look, it makes my little heart sing, who loves surrealist art. And it's like the characters in the first game, I feel like part of their personality was very fandom created, but I feel like the characters in the second game aren't. I feel like they come in very fully formed, and a lot of that has to do with how strong they are at establishing their presence within the intro. It's tricky because Fear and Hunger 1 is quite a lonely game. You feel quite isolated, and that isolation is part of the horror and part of the just soul-crushingness of the first game. And it's one of the things, because it's like I love the characters in the second game, yet I feel like the atmosphere in the first game is stronger because of the lack of character. And it's I don't know. Is it one of those situations where it's I love ice cream, I love roast chicken, but you can't exactly have roast chicken with ice cream because it's gross?
I could try.
I don't know.
That's coward's talk.
Yeah.
Sure, okay. But it might be one of those situations where both these elements are fantastic, but each of them have to be independent from one another because they just don't work together. Because you can't simultaneously have the isolation of the first game with the heavy character stuff in the second. I don't know.
I do kind of agree with that, and that's sort of how in the first game, your character basically never speaks, right? And that doesn't feel off, but in Termina, it kind of does when your character doesn't take place in party talks and that, because they do have such strong characters.
I did talk about that one point with you guys, that I think the character you control completely loses their connection to the story and the game, or even being able to react. They're just a blank character for you to play as, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there might be a way of, like, if you ever did a sequel with a non-speaking protagonist, like having the actual player character is possessed by some outside entity that you're acting through, and everyone else in the game is just being themselves. But as soon as you choose them as the player character, you eat their soul or something. But
you're actually playing as Sulfur in both games, so that's actually canon. Yeah,
it would be cool. It would be a cool theory, but it's like, I don't know.
That's my theory in a way, still, to be honest.
I feel
like Fear and Hunger is such a fascinating game, because I feel like I like to make video games. I'm working on a creepy Pokemon one right now, but I feel like Fear and Hunger, there's so many interesting game design concepts in it. Like, even the flaws I think are interesting. Like, it's like an arguing about what works and why it works and why it doesn't. I feel like with Fear and Hunger, I can go on and on and on, and where there are some games I'm just like, yeah, that's shit. But even in Fear and Hunger, the elements I think, the elements that I don't enjoy, I can argue make the experience function or better in one other aspect. It's like, I don't know.
I think it's the only game for me, that single player game that I play so long. Fear Hunger Termina, like 530 hours. I think it's a lot for a single player game.
That's a lot.
I don't think there's another game that I love so much compared to Fear Hunger 2. I love the replayability. I love the hexen and the map being so big and having so many ways to do challenges. I love it. While in the first one, I don't really think much of many challenges that I can do, other than a few.
That's fair. Sadly. It's like, I don't know. It's just, I literally have played over 1,000 games in my lifetime. I have played a lot of games. My Steam account is over 950. I have played a lot of games.
Oh, mine. Let me check mine real quick. I have 985.
Okay.
So I don't know how I decided on this one game to be the one to take my heart.
But that's the thing. That's one reason it's so interesting, is because it does feel so unorthodox. Its structure is fascinating to think about. Its flaws and pros are both interesting. And I just feel like, as a person who is a game developer, there's so many interesting lessons or ideas that can be explored around, like how the game deals with non-linearity, how the game deals with difficulty. I don't know. I just feel like Fear and Hunger it feels like Fear and Hunger. There are so many games which just feel like that, like a game. Like, there are so many absolutely identical roguelikes out there which blur together in my head. Even though I love the genre, there are so many games which don't feel like they have a unique identity that you could only experience from them. Fear and Hunger is one of those games where it is so distinct that in the literally over 1,000 games I've played, there is nothing I can actively compare it to.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's just the Dark Souls of Omori clones.
Oh my god. Please die in your sleep. Just
actually, Bones, it is the Lisa of Undertale likes.
Oh yeah, because of the talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you trying to flipping talk?
And the limb-based combat.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, that's the goal here. That is 100% what I'm doing. Why do you even need to ask that question? I thought it was obvious.
Don't mess with me. I'll just say a bunch of demonetizable words and no one's getting a paycheck. Joke. Oh dear. I don't know. I just like it. And also, I'm so glad Orange has the effing work ethic he does. Because as a person who loved Lisa, and just adores it. My man Lee is like Austin most. Yeah. He hasn't done much since. It's like I love him to bits, but it's like I don't know. Never mind. I actually know the guy, so I shouldn't really comment too much because I don't want him to get annoyed with me. So I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, what I like about Fear and Hunger is that it breaks all the rules you expect going in, and like you just die straight away. And then you figure out how to beat that one. Get around that one death. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. Oh, and it just keeps going, even to the point where that really clicked with me when there was the toilet in the first game. You can jump down the toilet. It's like, oh, there's gonna be something down there, right? No, you just die. No, you don't. You don't just die. You have to wait until your mind ticks down, and then you can kill yourself. Is what happens. So you don't even get an easy way out. You have to do it.
I don't know. It reminds me. I love indie games because AAA games are very stagnant in there is the formula that is followed, and we will follow it. Even like the people that made Dark Souls, one of the most, original and influential games of its generation, have been basically just doing iterations upon the concept. One of the most unique and influential, developers in the AAA industry is still doing the same thing. And it's so rare you get something which is just trying to do its own fucking thing, regardless of if there is a market or if it is profitable or even if it is good gameplay.
Yeah,
it's like I love indie games when they're just trying to be them, like unapologetically.
I'm gonna go ahead and combo into something that I really dislike that's happening with a lot of games, which is I hate easy games. I hate whenever I get into a game and there's 30,000 tutorials that happen that tell me how to play and do not allow me to make a mistake. I don't like games that are just, about just testing the player and their limits and making them angry and whatever. But I like it when a game is able to just tell you what it is, what to do, give you a map, tell you exactly the story, and then you go forward and you do it. But it's hard to do it, but you know what to do. I love doing that.
Fear and Hunger is interesting because it has quite a few mechanics, but it didn't need to teach you a goddamn thing. Like, there is no tutorial.
Me, I feel like it did, to be honest. Termina, at least, to me. I feel like it did.
I feel like it lures you into the difficulty, but there's no thing saying you have to target these limbs. No, you just see that as targeting limbs.
Well, there's Sir Seymour who says, oh yeah, if you take out their legs, their head becomes vulnerable, and also guard if you get a bad feeling.
Is Seymour the mustache guy?
No.
He's the wounded knight in the basement.
He's a knight.
Oh, good point. But
hang on. Who's the mustache guy?
That tells you.
To encounter him, you do have to get through. You do have to fight people before getting to the tutorial, man.
Yeah, but if you're Hunger 2, you get the book that is on the floor on the seat of Caligula. You can just read it.
Look, I'm dyslexic, and I instinctually dislike books, so I just get it.
No worries.
No, wait. I need to know, who is the mustache? I don't know which character is the mustache man.
The mustache man is the guy that gets caught by torture.
Judging for the temperance of this podcast and the relationships you all have, I will not tell you just to be an arsehole, because that just seems to be the whole vibe here.
Okay, Based. I know exactly who you're speaking to, and I know him by name, but I'm also not going to say it. Out of respect for your decision to be an asshole.
I'm going to go through all the sprites in this game and find out which one is the moustache man, aren't I? Is it Buckman? Does he have a moustache? Does he? Hang on. Buckman.
So it's just like going into
I don't even know what you're talking about. You're talking about Buckman. You're talking about Buckman.
No, he doesn't have a moustache. He has a goatee. A full, around his mouth.
It's not Buckman.
Oh, it's not Buckman.
The great thing is, I wasn't even thinking about the first game. I got mixed up.
What?
Looking in the right place.
It's not Nashra, is it?
Okay.
You meant Nashra.
No.
The first game he said.
It's the guy who saves you when you get tied up, when you get beaten up by the villagers.
Oh, August. August.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about the first game. Oh, no wonder I was so confused.
Yeah. I was thinking of August. Sorry, I lied. I did tell you.
I wanted to go back into the topic though. I recently started playing Persona 3 Reload, and I remember Persona 3 Face, the PlayStation 2 version, was hard as fuck. And this version of Persona 3 Reload is really fucking easy. I cannot believe how easy it is. And there's still no way to mod it properly because no one explained me how to do it. So I'm still trying to mod it.
Yeah,
Could
that
you
was
just
the main
gotten better
complaint
over the years?
Persona 3.
Raccoon, could you just gotten better? Gotten better over the years?
That was the main complaint. Oh.
Sorry,
I'm confused.
Could you have just gotten better over the years, Raccoon?
No, like me getting better? No, absolutely not. You know why? I picked up the hardest difficulty. I did a challenge. I'm doing only Jack Frost, Pirate Jack, and Neko Shogun. No way it's gonna be easy. And it is. And it fucking is. I'm not even thinking. There's an R2 button for each character that does like 1,000 damage each. Fuck him.
It was probably an overcorrection problem. The first game was critiqued for being a bit too difficult in some people's opinions, so I think they might have made it way too easy to try and like overcorrect.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. I can't.
Yeah.
I need my hard mode. It sucks.
Whenever people complain about a game being too hard, they should just make it harder. What game did that? There was one recently that
did that.
Like just
was
play
that
the game
Beautiful
with like
Joe? I think that was Beautiful Joe.
Yeah.
Back 4 Blood did that.
Yes,
actually.
it was. I remember seeing the article about it in the games magazine. They were like, yeah, people kept saying this was too hard, so I kept making it harder.
Back 4 Blood did that. You know what did Back 4 Blood? Because I lived through the Back 4 Blood saga, which was people would be like, oh, the enemies are way too difficult, because we had an enemy that's called the Stinger, which will be like a hunter in Left 4 Dead that shows up, but instead of jumping on you, they spit at you over and over again, like the Stinger. Each spit would do 30 damage each for like half a second each, and you had 150 HP max with your character. So the second that you spawned, you died, and it did AoE damage, so you would get team wiped. This shit, we told the developers about it, and instead of making it easier, the developers made it so that you had to use a specific card to make it take less damage. So you were forced to use one card that was random in your deck to get to defend yourself against that guy that showed up and kill you.
True.
It seems they made a lot of mistakes with Back 4 Blood, to be honest. I never even bothered playing it because it died before I even got a chance.
Themselves down into shit.
Yeah.
They made it harder for no reason. They were balancing. I used to say with my friends that they balanced the game based on what the infected were saying against us, the players. Like the infected were people, actually.
That's a good line.
Did they ever end up adding the PvP mode?
They didn't scrap it. It's just there. No one played it. It tagged.
That sucked. That was the best thing
they
about
nerfed
Left 4
the
Dead.
cards for PvP. So like, if you use the cards in PvE, they were different in PvP, which kind of was sucking. To be honest, I hated that.
I've been hunting around for a good new game to play forever and just spamming the Steam refund policy because I haven't been able to grab anything.
I've been doing the same. I do the same with horror games. Every single time that we hang out with my team and my mods, we play horror games for like 1 hour, 2 hours, and we refund. I found one recently that is really good. It's called School Labyrinth. If you guys want to try that.
My dumb brain can't deal with anything that ain't 2D.
School Labyrinth is not 2D. It's a 3D game.
No, I mean, I actually do 2D, not 3D. I am sensory sensitivity, annoying stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's a shame, because I have another horror game that I was going to recommend.
Oh, surely.
Which is 3D. Disillusion's manga horror.
Tragic. My screwed up skull can't deal with anything going 2D. It's the main reason I came across Fear and Hunger, because it's pixel art. It's good pixel art, which I eat up because pixel art is the easiest thing for at least me with extreme sensory sensitivity to process, because it's like minimal information possible and still looking pretty.
This Solutions manga horror has mixed reviews. Why, Jonas?
Oh, because it's... How do I phrase this? The game takes probably under an hour to beat, but my stream of it was about 3 hours because I spent 2 hours laughing too hard to actually play the game.
I mean,
that sounds amazing.
It's a shitty game, I'm guessing. A silly, shitty game.
There's one bit of it that I will remember forever, where they try to do one of those jump scares where you turn around and like a empty hospital bed just like passes by, like rolls down the hallway behind you. Like, that'd be an effective jump scare, except the sound effect they used for the hospital bed rolling down the hallway was train noises. So you hear like chugga 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 as like this tiny little empty hospital bed rolls through the hallway of an abandoned apartment. And I lost it. I was laughing for like 15 minutes straight after that. Genuinely one of the best times I've ever had with a video game.
The trailer is a video playing on a phone, by the way, of the game on the Steam page.
Delightful.
Okay.
Oh my god, it is. And that's why you
see the reflection of the person. I love it.
We live in such a tragic world where something like Bam Bam become a successful horror franchise, yet this masterpiece goes unnoticed.
It's shameful. Shameful, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can play Pocket Mirror. Pocket Mirror is great.
Pocket
Great RPG Maker horror.
Pocket Mirror.
Oh, wait. RPG Maker horror is it's a mixed bag.
Oh yeah, the game you were playing, right?
It can be annoying. I'll be curious.
It's a game that you were playing, right?
Yeah, I'm playing the remake, Golden Trum. It's
the
beautiful
game that you
art.
play on YouTube that you are streaming, and everyone should watch you play right now.
Yes, exactly.
Because...
No, I'm not streaming right now. Well, actually, when did this come out? This will come out on one of the days I stream, so I might actually be, when you listen to this, I might actually stream right now, so make sure to go check me out.
That would be some smart advertising.
Yeah.
There is a free version. The original version is out. I think Golden Trum just remakes the art. I don't know if it changes the story or not because I haven't played the original.
So the game is called Pocket Mirror.
Yes, Pocket Mirror.
Just to make sure for myself. Grand. I will give it a poke. It's like two of the most like games which have like most influenced me and hit me really hard were both Lisa and Fear and Hunger. So I definitely have something for grim RPG Maker games. Oddly enough, Armory just didn't really click with me. I never ended up finishing it. Which is kind of strange because I like grim, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. As someone, I don't know. It was, yeah.
So, Amoria had two big issues. It went on way too long. There's like, once you get to the underwater hotel part, you could take that entire chunk out, and you had to reshuffle it a little bit, but you could take that whole part out, and it wouldn't really matter. You would probably need to reshuffle the final boss.
I also hate that game because
for that bit.
Yeah, I hate that game.
I find the gameplay interesting. It was,
but if you want,
and it did feel like it was
horror game.
It was trying a little too hard to be.
I don't know.
Edgy. I did like when change between real world and dream world. That was pretty cool. But the game was way too long, and I think they made it longer because it was taking so long, and they're like, we need to like justify in quotation marks how long this game has taken. But I think that backfired a little bit. I think you could cut out big chunks of it, and it would still.
It's a tricky game because I can see love and effort that's been put into it.
Oh, definitely.
But it just never clicked, and I feel a little sad about that because I feel like the concept of it's like a bit personal, but because of all my disability stuff, I had to leave or not see all my childhood friends and stuff like that. So a game about a person because of a traumatic experience, becoming separated from all their childhood friends and then meeting them again as they've all grown up and become different people and feeling like the world's like passed you by. It's like something I could personally, relate to as somebody who went through a bad experience like that. So I feel like it should have really clicked with me, but just no. No, it just didn't.
It happens, unfortunately.
I can't quite put my finger on it.
I was playing that game with my community, and I got into the point that I was like, man, I cannot play this shit. And I was in the part where you go inside a monster, and you have to fight the monster inside the monster, and then fight the monster inside the monster.
That's the final boss.
And I asked, no, shut up, bro. You came when that was happening. That wasn't the final boss. That was inside the whale, whatever the fuck shit.
Yeah, that's the last real. That's the last real. There's like fights after it, but they're fake fights. You know.
Okay. Well, yes, it is. And I asked Mao for help, and he gave me the courage to continue playing. And then I hit the game because I finished it, and now I can hate it. So, thank you, Mao.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, that is a shitty game, pretty much. It takes 30 years. You should probably play one game that doesn't take 30 years to beat, which is Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass.
I fucking love that game. Oh my god, I love Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. It's it is a long game, but it has so much content, and all the content is good.
It's not repeated. It is 60 hours of content that is not filler. And I'm streaming it on Twitch, on YouTube and Twitch as well. So
right now, when this podcast goes live, Raccoon will be streaming.
No, I stream it. I mean, I don't fucking know. Honestly, maybe.
Like Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass is like, I don't know. I feel like it must be in my top 10 favorite games of all time. It's one of those games which just sticks with me and has such atmosphere and a sense of time and place, and it's, oh my god, it's like I'm glad that this guy's next project got crowdfunded, but
Cassie deserves all the love. Consider that they made the game by themselves, kind of like Miro did, and they got pretty decent, help from the community.
I hope it's good, but it's just. I just love the surreal, strange vibes of Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass, and I'm just not quite getting it from his new project. But maybe I'm just being,
we'll see. We have to wait. We have to wait.
I know. We have to be fair. We don't want to jump the gun and be like, because Termina isn't set in a medieval setting, it means it's going to be bad. Because I feel like I'm kind of doing that with the new Jimmy and Pulsating Mass developer game. Sure, honey.
Yeah.
It wasn't the change of setting that made Termina bad.
Right, it was the lack of stingers. Right, I forgot. Sorry.
What made
exactly?
Yeah,
it's not fear and hunger if people have pants on.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like sound effects. Like there weren't enough like bum bum bum.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the piano jump scare noise, but
that
not
is
the type of stinger I meant.
Sound. I think there's like, how many stingers are there in the first game? There's like 3 or 4, and there's only 1 in Termina, so it's disappointing.
Are we talking about music notes? I still can't tell.
We are not talking about music notes.
Okay. I'll just tune out first.
Well, actually, no. There's two stingers in Termina. There's the priest, and then there is Poe. So
you're not counting the next guy?
No, that's not a stinger. That's a parasite. That's not his actual stinger's been eaten. So.
Okay.
I will combo into 2 more games. Cassette Beats, you know this one probably, Louis?
I did. I played it for like 5 minutes and I was like, nah.
This game though has 3D at some point, so maybe not the best to recommend.
It's at that point where I'm gonna have a slight headache, but I can definitely deal with Cassette Beats. But
it's just a beautiful game. It's a Pokemon game, pretty much.
I don't know. As someone who's
it's got a
very picky about
like
Pokemon.
Bones automatically likes Skullbirds.
Oh shit, Bones! We have a crow for you in one of the cassette
spooky skull crow. I love those things.
You might have to play it now.
I just didn't enjoy the gameplay. I just felt it was kind of repetitious.
I think it's a beautiful game.
Isn't Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass just like Motherbound? Earthbound? Not Motherbound.
It's Final Fantasy V, I believe. With the class system.
I mean, whenever you're doing like just a straight up JRPG, it's super derivative anyway. So, unless you're doing something crazy like Fear and Hunger.
Last game that I wanted to talk about was this one that I showed to Mao. I bought it. I'm gonna play at some point in the near future. Did I play
Crystal Story: Dawn of Dusk. Did you show this to me?
I didn't buy it. I have it. How did I have it? I don't remember buying this. What the fuck? When did I get it? Okay, whatever. I got this.
That doesn't look cool, doesn't it?
But I'm liking it. It's called Crystal Story: Dawn of Dusk.
Okay. I have no. wish I wasn't dyslexic and could spell things correctly. Crystal.
Okay, don't worry.
Spree, Dawn. Okay, I hope I spelled it correctly just to keep track of it.
Yeah, I think the
Oh, it does.
podcast.
Yeah, it looks
channel
really nice.
Don't worry. I really like it, and I think it could be like an Undertale game, and I kind of want to try it because I don't remember who got this game for me because I did not buy it, but somebody got it to me. Shit, I forgot.
Oh, not 3D. 3D. No.
Is it 3D? I didn't see it.
Is it 3D? It doesn't look 3D.
No, I accidentally clicked on School Labyrinth. Sorry.
School Labyrinth wins again.
I was like, "That's really holy shit!" That's amazing.
I've been playing heaps of like itch.io horror games, and they're all like, 5 to 20 minutes long, right? I can't remember like 90% of them.
Oh no!
And I would have played about 100 at this
game
point.
that is on Steam.
I've never really gone. I never really tried itch.io games when it comes to. I don't know. I don't know why I should. I feel like I should try them because there are so many itch.io games out there. But some part of me just feels like they look way too like this will take 10 minutes. I don't know.
A lot of them are, but often they're really interesting, and I have a lot of fun playing them. But because they're so short, they don't stick in my head. For the vast majority of them, some of them do. Like normal fishing, I played the other week, where it's like a fishing game, and it's obviously not normal. It's very weird, and it gets weirder and weirder and weirder. It's only a demo at the moment, but that was pretty cool.
You were streaming that, I remember.
Yeah.
Look out for it when it's finished.
Also, sorry, no one bought me this game. I bought it when it was on sale. It was like $5 for me. It wasn't. I don't know why this game went from $15 to $3.
Yeah,
and it came out just now. I don't know why. I'm scared, honestly.
I have a half recommendation: No Delivery.
No
delivery.
The sequel to that, Sorry We're Open, is another RPG Maker horror game which I adore. It's like, I don't know, do I like it as much as Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass? Maybe, I'm not sure. Sorry We're Open.
No way.
But it has such strong vibes. It has such strong vibes. I love Sorry We're Open. Like, it has this thing where you think it set up the core gameplay loop of constantly opening the shop, slowly exploring new locations within the massive supermarket, and then suddenly you escape the supermarket and there's this like bigger outside world with multiple other locations and ultimate shops to explore. And the game has such good vibes.
So is it like is it on
the
Steam?
Good one.
Yeah, it is on Steam here.
Yes.
Here it is.
So
I got the link here.
It is?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's as good as Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass, but I would put it in a similar like category of like really, really top tier RPG Maker weird horror.
I might want to try because of that you said just now, because I really like Jimmy.
Understandable. So, I think Jimmy's still better, but I do like that game. I do like Sorry We're Open an awful lot.
I don't think anything can beat Jimmy, honestly. It's just there's a lot of them.
Yeah. I can see that. It's one of the it would be a hard act to follow. I'm kind of honestly I'm really annoyed it wasn't as I hope it's like I feel like it was good enough to get the like viral success like games like Fear and Hunger and Lisa had.
Yeah.
But it never did, and I'm so annoyed because it's like people will fucking drool over Earthbound, and Jimmy is way better than Earthbound. Earthbound is so overrated. I'm sorry. Nobody crucify me, please.
I will reverse crucify you.
I don't really know what to say.
I'm a gameplay first kind of guy, and Earthbound's gameplay is
awful.
Less sophisticated than Final Fantasy freaking 1's.
Really?
I really dislike Earthbound's gameplay. It's like I think it's because I had people telling me it was the second coming of Christ for like years and years before playing it, but I found the gameplay just not great. The writing was okay, but nothing that felt like particularly fantastic to me. And then I played Jimmy, which actually has good gameplay, has all these like surreal vibes with mixture of like dark humor and comedy, this completely bizarre dreamlike world. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass was like what I was promised Earthbound would be, and then was let down by Earthbound. Like, Jimmy and the Pulsating kind of lived up to Earthbound's reputation. That
I have not played Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass, but I know that its gameplay is going to be significantly better than you'd expect from a JRPG.
Well,
because one of the influences it has listed is Final Fantasy V, which remains the pinnacle of RPG game design.
You can make builds in Jimmy. That's what it is. One of the builds I like making is critical with damage. Depending on what you level up and you spend your time doing, and your build I guess.
There's a lot of fun
support, you know.
There's a lot of fun things you can do with the party members. There are interesting abilities with interesting interactions, and you can like put a lot of thought into who you want in your party and what build you want, and like react like, oh, I want this build for this boss. I really love Jimmy's deadbeat uncle character. I feel like he has a lot of interesting and fun skills. I like the flexibility on how you can build Jimmy. It's like and all the bosses feel relatively unique and distinct, and there are so many bosses in Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. It's like,
here's
I don't
a
know.
picture of me doing 87,000 damage to a boss with my build.
Yeah,
it's fun. That's what I'm talking about. That's the shit that I want to see.
It's a very good game. Oh my god, part of me really wants to replay it.
You should, definitely. And this is where I got bullied by Mao and Jones from this quote, which is, I have achieved the peak of gooning.
Okay. Yes. I have to run off. I'm feeling a bit sick,
literally me, bros. What the hell?
Feeling a bit sick. I guess I might have to run. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right. Thank you very much for coming in, Louis. Yeah, I really appreciate it. We'll have to bring you back in when your game comes out.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole deal, but it's like, it was fun talking about bullshit with people. I rarely get to talk to people, and yes, being a smart game developer, I should be shielding my game 24/7, but I got to talk about fucking weird RPG Maker stuff. Look, that's more valuable than any gold, so thank you. Bye-bye, cheers, take care.
Thank you very much, Louis.
See you soon.
Well, we might just do a short.
I did mention something though. I'm gonna cut you. Give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
What is Sorry We're Open? You linked the game. It's called Sorry We're Open.
Sequel to No Delivery.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Louis mentioned that. Because Bones mentioned No Delivery, and then Louis mentioned.
It was almost as good as Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass.
I thought you said No Delivery being the. I thought he said that No Delivery was the one that was the best.
No, I was the one who recommended No Delivery, and it was only a half recommendation because I couldn't really get into it. I'm sure it would appeal to some people, but those are people that aren't me and therefore have worse taste.
Okay, I got lost. Sorry, I'm gonna probably try out then both at some point.
But there is one other RPG Maker game that I really want to recommend that I shill at every possible opportunity. Osteo Blast.
Osteo Blast. You play as a spooky, scary skeleton raised from the dead by the mysterious cat witch on a journey to find purpose. I don't understand why you would like this game, Bones. It doesn't sound like you at all.
It's mostly the supremely surrealistic writing. Like, you'd expect in a JRPG, killing God would be like the end point. It's like the second boss in this.
I'm getting some great recommendations. I'm going to have to play all these games. These all look really good.
B33.
I like the 3D skeleton that goes against you. That's really fun.
Yeah, Osteo Blast also has a really refreshing gameplay system. Like, instead of having, strength, dexterity, constitution, or whatever, it has stuff like spirit, spite, surliness? I don't think that was one of them. But the point is that instead of having like the classic stats, it has like 6 different emotions. And I managed to play through the game with a spite-based build, and that's perfect.
So, is it like actually different, or are they just like basically renames?
Oh, it is completely different. Each stat actually controls like a different elemental damage, as well as a resistance to another element. And each of the associated stats has different like genres of spell casting associated with it.
Okay. So if you put all your points into surliness, you would have a whole bunch of like surly spells, but you'll be resistant to a specific other emotion, but stronger against a certain other emotion.
Yes. I put all of my points into spite because I found a really powerful, well, not really powerful, but a powerful enough spell that sucked hit points away from other people and healed me.
Huh.
So I just made sure that it could heal more than my total HP every turn. And was like, I don't need other stats. I can just leech faster than they can kill me if I can survive one hit.
You always break games, Bones. Why do you do this?
Yeah. It's because I hate video games.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
Normal people play video games in a normal way and develop normal strategies. I break video games because I hate them and want them to suffer.
But what game do you like so much that you don't hate and you never broke?
Probably Zork Nemesis.
That's that old FMV game we started collabing one time, wasn't it, Bones?
Yeah, I genuinely like that game. It's all about like writing and adventure game puzzles that aren't terrible.
Was that the one where the guy ended up dying, the creator of it? Was that Zorg Nemesis?
What?
Where like the creator and his wife got murdered.
That would be news to me.
There was one adventure game where like the creator got like murdered, or they think it was like a murder-suicide or something, but they couldn't work out who actually did it. Let's see. Zorg Nemesis.
I mean, it was published by Activision. I don't think that happened to where the current head of Activision is.
Maybe it's something else then, because
you might be thinking of Harvester, where the lead actor for Harvester went to jail.
No. It wasn't that one. There was one of these games where the creator was murdered, and his wife was like murdered, and they think it was either a murder suicide or like they were actually murdered by somebody, and they never figured it out. It definitely wasn't Harvester. That was something different and kind of crazy. Oh, Steve, he always was a kidder.
There's one line from Harvester that's going to live with me forever.
Which is?
You come home one day and find a major character lying dead on the bed with head removed, a decapitated corpse. And the police come in and go, Oh, this must be death by natural causes. And naturally, the main character protests, objects. It can't possibly be natural causes. It was decapitation. To which the police officer replies, well, yeah, you'll die if you get your head cut off. That's just natural.
That's so true. Wow. How do you come back to that? He's right.
Harvester.
Why are you booing? He's right. If I'm going to recommend a game, I'm going to recommend Pocket Mirror, and I'm also going to recommend. I haven't even finished Pocket Mirror yet, but I just love it. And Little Goody Two Shoes. I finished that game.
You play that too? And
I got like 4 of the endings. To be fair, it was pretty easy to go back and get the endings because there was only minor differences from where my save was. And it was like a week later, I was like, man, I miss playing that game. Like, I enjoyed it so much. I was sitting there thinking, I miss playing Little Goody. I miss not being able to, like, not knowing what's going to happen next in the story. Like, what the hell? It probably helps that it took me, like, months to actually finish it because I'm only playing for, like, a couple of hours each week. And it's kind of the same with Pocket Mirror, too. Because, again, I'm only playing for a couple of hours each week, really. So, it really gives it time to sink into your psyche and just percolate there. It's kind of like Fear and Hunger too, really. Like it's not just some random one-off game. It's like, no, I've been playing this game for over a year at this point, like a year and a half. Like it's deep inside my head now, and it's not going anywhere, for good or bad. A brain virus.
Something doesn't sell me with the Goody Two Shoes. I don't know why. Maybe the art style is like something I don't really like
beautiful.
much. Sadly.
It's so good.
Someday maybe. I recently tried Rain World because of a few friends, and I couldn't really get into it. Sadly, I might try again at some point.
Rain World. I've heard a lot of good things about that, but yeah, I've never really tried it.
I think it's good, but it's hard. It's very hard to like it. I don't know where to go. That's what it is. And then like explore and like what? But it's so big. It's an open world.
Yeah, it did come across as one of those games you got to sink like 40 hours into to actually understand it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can stream it at that point. I could just play by myself and then come back and stream when I'm good. I don't know.
Maybe when like
it just loses its touch.
Maybe when the next one comes out, because like they've got like 2 of them, right? There's probably going to be another one. Maybe when it gets hot again, we can sink time into it.
Maybe.
Because you gotta pick your time, right, when you're streaming.
Play it, though. He might teach me a few things.
I do want to end the podcast on a very happy announcement, and this is a minor spoiler for the update, but it's very important. It's very important to know.
Okay.
And I'll read the tweet verbatim, right? So that this was tweeted about 9 hours ago by Happy Paintings, the official Fear and Hunger Twitter. The coming overhaul for Termina won't expand the core story. The base game told the story it needed to tell, but lore is going to get a Kingdom Hearts levels of convoluted. Left field revelations and all that. Sorry. Let's go.
I knew it was canon to Kingdom Hearts.
Miro confirmed,
so
you guys listener.
Change? So the lore is gonna change.
No, I don't think it's going to change. I think more is going to be revealed.
So the depth
He'll
spots
finally
are
reveal that Kingdom Hearts is canon.
Yeah. Sora is going to be the next contestant. Sora is going to be a playable contestant in the update.
Sora. Sorry.
and yeah, Mickey Mouse as well. He actually got the license. No, he could do Steamboat Willie, couldn't he? He could actually put Steamboat Willie in the game.
Yeah, he can actually do it.
Yeah, Let's go.
Quickly. Get him.
Steamboat Willie confirmed? ? I say so. I say so. The evidence suggests.
Definitely.
Yeah, so no, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to. So it's sort of like when you finally do ending C and then you realize, oh, Sulfur is behind everything. It doesn't change the lore. It sort of reveals more about it, right? So Miro always said that there were questions that weren't able to be answered in the game. He always said that. So he always said that he was going to address some unanswerable questions. Or questions that maybe there's some that he expected us to get and we're just too dumb to see, to be honest. And I kind of feel that that's probably the case. There's a lot of stuff like that.
It happens.
Yeah, considering that, I think you could have figured out that Grogroth was the sun god in the first game. I think you legitimately could have made that guess, and I don't think anybody did. At least I couldn't. I looked and I couldn't find anything. Maybe somebody did, but I couldn't find anybody that said that before I did. And like figuring out that Olmir's father is Betel. Like, in hindsight, it's super obvious. Oh, you mean there's the last remaining new god that's ancient and probably before Olmir, who has a pregnant belly, like has pregnant symbology, is Olmir's father? No way. We didn't see that coming. But yeah, so I think there's probably stuff that's super obvious once Miro slaps us in the face with it. It has a book that says, "Hey, you guys, you idiots, you missed this." We'll look back and go, "Oh, wait, no, there's actually heaps of hints towards it." So
looking forward to the explanation of how the debug tiles are canon.
In Termina, it's actually really easy to justify that. It would be harder to justify in the first game, though. I wonder how we'll do that. So, how do you think that the debug tile where you get 2 party members for free at the start is canon?
Clones.
Oh, clones. Okay.
There you go, see.
We know the black is dripping out onto the first floor, and we know the black is used in the cloning machines.
Yes, it is.
So clearly, Ragnvaldo or D'Ars got injured and accidentally mixed their blood with the black, which happened to flow back to a cloning machine, and bam.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Neat. Very neat. I like it. Makes sense. And of course, the items, the item tile is an easy one. Someone just buried some items under there. The merchant did.
Yeah.
The multiple merchants that go through did. Yeah, easy. There you go. Loreheads, we're winning. Stay winning, Loreheads.
God damn it.
All right, well, we might wrap up here then.
All right then.
Thank you guys very much for coming in. Yeah, we'll see you next week then.